Hey, look, let me start out by this. My boss is the greatest president in the history of this nation, Donald Trump. I love that guy. Look, let's talk about the most successful president in the history of this nation when it comes to border security, immigration enforcement. He promised the American people he would secure the border. And right now, today, as I'm standing here, we have the most secure border in the history of this country. I just returned. I was on the California border. I was on the Arizona border. I was on the Texas border just a few days ago. I spent 3 days on the surveillance at that northern border by plane, by boat, by four-wheel drive. 3 days on the border. I didn't see one illegal alien. None. I started in the Border Patrol in 1984. I've been around a long time. I'm an old guy. But I've never seen that. So it amazed me, even though I knew what the success level was. I just sat back with the CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott. I said, can you believe this shit? Not one illegal alien. Not one. Most secure border in the history of the nation. President Trump made 3 promises to the American people when it comes to immigration. He would secure the border, he'd have a historic deportation operation, and he'd find kids that were smuggled into the country under Joe Biden, and they forgot about, they lost track of. So we got the most secure border in the history of the nation. There's a 95% decrease in illegal immigration. What does that mean? It means less women are being sexually assaulted making that journey. Less children are dying. Less fentanyl is getting into the country, killing Americans. Less known suspected terrorists are coming to the country. You know who's pissed off? The criminal cartels of Mexico, because they're going broke. President Trump is saving thousands of lives every month. With 95% less people coming, how many women ain't being raped? How many children aren't dying? How many pounds of fentanyl? It's a simple question. They want to say the Trump administration is inhumane. No, let me tell you what's inhumane. Inhumane is 250,000 people dying of fentanyl came across an open border. Inhumane is over 4,000 aliens dying making that journey. Inhumane is a record number, historic number of sex trafficking across that southern border. That's inhumane. President Trump is saving thousands of lives every month. Sex trafficking is way down. Smuggling is non-existent. American lives are being saved every day. Now let's talk about promise number 2 that he kept. The biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation. In less than a year since President Trump's been in the Oval Office, we're in the year about 650,000 deportation, which blows any record out of the water. So he's already beat every record there when it comes to deportation. But we got nearly 2 million that left on their own because they knew ICE was out there looking for them. They decided to leave on their own. So a record number of removals. Well, get this. While Pam Bondi is suing the Department of the Sanctuary Cities, once we beat the sanctuary cities, once we bring all 10,000 new agents on the ground, you ain't seen nothing yet. For those politicians, mayors, governors, members of Congress who compare ICE to the Nazis and to the Gestapo, you're disgusting. Threats against ICE officers up like 8,000%. Actual assaults are up like 1,400%. I want to remind everybody, the men and women of ICE, the men and women of Border Patrol, they're American patriots. They don't hang their heart on the hook when they go to work. They're enforcing laws. Members of Congress, you don't like it, change the law. If they're a racist for enforcing the law, what's that make you? You wrote the law. So stop the crap. Support the men and women of ICE, because if you don't, if the hateful rhetoric continues, there's going to be more bloodshed. Third promise. 500,000 children were smuggled into the country across that open border under Joe Biden. 500,000. They released them to unvetted sponsors. they lost track of about 300,000 kids. They didn't know where they were. They weren't looking for them. They didn't care. President Trump made a promise: we're going to do everything we can to find these kids. Thanks to the work of the FBI, DHS, and Homeland HHS, I'm proud to say we've already located 129,000 of these missing kids. 129,000 children that the last administration wasn't even looking for. Look, I'll be clear. Some of these children were safe with family, just hiding out. But many of these children were in sex trafficking, being sold to the sex trade. Many are in forced labor. God bless President Trump. He saved thousands of children. President Trump promised, and I'm going to keep that promise, we're going to run down every single lead of every single child, and when we're done with all those leads, we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. But here's the honest truth. Out of those three promises, I knew the children would be the hardest because it's hard to find them. We can find you. You got credit cards, you own a home, you got a car, you pay utility bills. You have a digital footprint. Children don't have that digital footprint. So we had to count on the digital footprint of the sponsors. Many of the sponsors weren't fingerprinted. Many of the address wasn't even verified. So when agents from the FBI and ICE go out there looking for them, many times these addresses are parking lots, supermarkets. But because of their dedication, because of their love for this president, because of their sacrifices they've made to save these children, because they know a lot of them are living a life of hell every day, at least 14 of these kids already died. Despite all these obstacles, despite the Democratic politicians, despite the hate, for them to find 129,000 already is remarkable. I started as a Border Patrol agent in 1984. I've come out of retirement twice for this president. Thank you for doing that, because my wife's still pissed off. I came back because I saw the traps. I woke up every day the last 4 years pissed off because I knew how many children died last night, how many women got sexually assaulted, how many Americans died last night from fentanyl. I knew when President Trump got back in the Oval Office, he would secure the border, and by doing so, save American lives. And not only that, save alien lives. And not only that, you got to remember, a strong border means strong national security. We have to know who's coming in, who's going out, all that thing. Well, let me end with this. My time is up. But let me end with this. To the men and women of ICE, to the men and women of the United States Border Patrol, I love each and every one of you. I will have your six until the day I die.